Hello friends, my name is Sunil Ranjan and I am an English faculty member. Now here I have come up with the poem The Void by Muktibodh with its explanation. First telling you about Muktibodh. Gajanan Madhav Muktibodh, as it is his full name, was one of the most prominent Hindi poets, essayist, literary and political critic and fiction writers of the 20th century. He was born on 13th November 1917 in Shivpur, Madhya Pradesh. He was one of the 7 poets included in the first volume of Tar Saptak, series of anthologies in 1943, which marked a transition in Hindi literature from the prevalent Chayavad movement. This led to the beginning of Prayogvad or experimentalism in Hindi poetry and developing along with Pragativad or progressivism, and eventually led to the creation of the Nai Kahani or new story movement that came to be known as modernism. Muktibodh is widely considered one of the pioneers of modern poetry in India and a greatly respected figure of Hindi poetry after Suryakant Tripathi Nirala. He was a pioneer of Prayogvad or experimentalism movement of Hindi literature that marked the culmination of his literary movement and its evolution into the Nai Kahani and Nai Kavita in 1950s. His presence was equally important in the rise of new criticism in Indian literature. Brahma Rakshas is considered to be his most influential work in experimental poems. His writings were deeply influenced by his viewpoints of Marxism, socialism and existentialism. He, along with writers like Yashpal, continued his ideological fight against modernist and formalist trends in Hindi literature. His complete works in 6 volumes were published in 1980 as Muktibodh Rachanavali. He died on 11 September 1964. Now, coming to the poem, The Void by Muktibodh. Well, friends, The Void is a powerful poem that depicts horrific details of destruction, violence, and meaninglessness of life, which result from extreme self-absorption. The word suggests not only emptiness, nothingness, and zero, but also the Indian philosophical concept of emptiness that signifies fullness as its positive meaning. In an ironic collapse of meanings, the poet Muktibodh presents a powerful picture of a void which is empty yet full of jaws and carnivorous teeth. Now, coming to the poem. So first I'll read out the poem to you and then I will move on to the explanation part. The void inside us has jaws. Those jaws have carnivorous teeth. Those teeth will chew you up. Those teeth will chew up everyone else. The dirt inside is our nature, habitually angry. In the dark hollow inside the jaws there is a pond of blood. This void is utterly black, is barbaric, is naked, disowned, debased, completely self-absorbed. Now coming to the explanation part. The poem depicts the void which is within us as a beast having sharp teeth. It finds its food and energy by feeding on the goodness of other human beings. The poet remarks that the void is inside us. This dearth leads to our anger. The poet uses the image of pond of blood to portray the fierce and ruthless side of human nature. Then the poet describes its characteristics by calling it black or gloomy. It is barbaric, naked, disowned, and debased, and happens to be disturbingly self-centered. Through Void, the poet has portrayed the demonic nature of human being in the form of a beast that is ever ready to prey upon others and is the most debased form of human lot. Now coming to the lines, I scatter it, give it away with fiery words and deeds. Those who cross my path find this void in the wounds I inflict on them. They let it grow, spread it around, scatter it and give it away to others, raising the children of emptiness. The void is very durable. It is fertile. Now coming to the explanation part. The poet now shifts to the first person narrative scheme that brings out the lyrical quality of the poem. Though the poem depicts an abstract quality, it becomes a lyric for the direct present of the poetic persona in these lines. The poet admits that he too has the void in him like others. He explains how he nurtures such negative side of his personality. He says that his fiery words and deeds inflict mental pain on people. In turn, they let it grow by spreading it among others, and the process goes on. The void further leads to additional shades of emptiness, as the poet says, by raising the children of emptiness. He adds deep meaning to void by treating it as the state that continues to stay fertile and lasts for a long time. Now coming to the lines back again. Every day it breeds saws, daggers, sickles, breeds carnivorous teeth. That is why wherever you look, there is dancing, jubilation. Death is now giving birth to brand new children. Everywhere there are oversights with the teeth of saws. There are heavily armed mistakes. The world looks at them and walks on, rubbing its hands. Now, the explanation. The poet describes how such a void spreads and affects people. He uses the words saws, daggers, and sickles symbolically to speak of cruelty and utter ruthlessness in human society. He compares these tools to the carnivorous teeth that is ever eager to eat up others, the fellow beings, the other humans. Despite all such devilish possessions within them, mankind continues to stay excited and dances to the tune and rhythm of life. The heavily armed mistakes in the form of battles and wars have taken countless human lives, but unmindful of such heavy human losses all around, the people across the world rub their hands eagerly and excitedly to be ready for yet another opportunity to be the part of the ever-running human show of merrymaking and dancing, overlooking the past and continuing with the celebration of the present. The poem is structured around a series of paradoxes as it reaches its end. An active and fertile void begets death and emptiness, which is a state of passivity. It is stable and durable, even though nothingness is a changing state. The productivity and creativity of the void runs in contrast to the barrenness and sterility that it creates. So here I come to the end of the explanation of the poem, my dear friends, and if you choose to subscribe to my channel, you will find countless videos on English literature and English language, and you will love to watch them and listen to them. Thank you.